Right. Welcome to the Vibing with Jallum Podcast, episode 4. And here I have Prabh. Do you want to introduce yourself, my friend?
Yo, what's up? What's up? Thank you for having me on the Vibing with Jallum podcast. I know I do my own podcast, but this is the first ever podcast that I've been on. And it's an honor, bro. Thank you for having me.
No, thank you for coming on with the bigger podcasters on the smaller podcast. It's my honor. I like
No,
limits. It's always got something interesting to say. Some interesting. This is
yeah.
definitely some interesting topics we've brought up. I think my favourite saga was definitely the Alex Maldo when you were just ripping
Oh,
into
yeah,
him.
yeah, right. Nah, nah. Yeah, fuck him. Fuck him. I hate that guy.
Yeah.
He's a twat. He's a tosser, as you guys like to.
Yeah, it's a bit of a twasser. Well, I'm gonna obviously I was gonna ask you this before, but I'm gonna ask you it now. You people may not know this, but Prab went to India, and I'm curious what you feel of India.
Yeah, no, it was shit, bro. I did not like it at all. I hate to say that. Like, I'm not trying to offend anyone. In India, it's not the people or anything like that. It's just I'm born and raised here in Canada, and I don't go to India much, so I'm not really like used to things there. On top of that, I caught malaria and dengue, so I was stuck in a hospital for like 3 days. 3 days, and it's like, what the fuck? On top of that, like I didn't like the food there. The fucking water in the morning wasn't like hot. Um, uh, Other than like meeting my grandparents and like certain family members there, I stayed there way too long, which was a mistake. I had to leave my job I had here in Toronto to go to India, right? And so I lost my job, and they didn't let me come back either. School was put on a pause, so it just like No Limits was also put on pause. I feel like in December I could have crushed it. Like already, like now that I'm back in Toronto, like we gained like 50, 60 subscribers. I've came out with like good videos. Like KSI Jake Paul are responding to me. It's like bro, like my life was on pause, and like I'm still facing the repercussions now, even that though I'm back in Canada.
Yeah, no, I can't imagine. How long was it you were there for? You were there for a good while. Like,
Yeah, like 6 weeks, bro.
yeah, that's a long time. Yeah, no. Oh, yeah. I can imagine it must have been annoying because obviously we were talking about doing this a bit ago, weren't we? But then obviously you ended
Yeah,
up going to India. But no.
yeah, we were supposed to do it about the Jose situation, I believe.
Yeah. Many people didn't
Yeah.
like my takes on that, but it's obviously that was my opinion. But
Yeah.
though so many things have been going on, like I want your opinion. What do you think is the best YouTube boxing event like of all time?
YouTube boxing event.
It could be any. It could be
So
any.
do I don't think do Jake Paul events count?
You can count them. Yeah, you can count them if you want.
Okay, event wise, I wouldn't say Jake Paul's events are there. I think like all his main events are always good, but
Mm,
like the undercards and shit, they're like whatever.
yeah.
So they're not bad, but I'd put the influencer ones on top. I would say the three that come into my mind is Social Gloves one. I really enjoyed that event. Misfits, sorry, Misfits one
Mm,
and Misfits four.
mm. Mine would be the same as that, and I'd throw Creator Clash in there. I think.
Oh, you throw? I didn't watch Creative Clash live, but I heard it's really good.
I've not. I didn't watch it live, but I watched it like after, and it was really good
Oh,
actually. Some good fight scenes.
really?
Yeah. I would recommend it. But yeah, I'd agree with you. It's just a shame with Social Gloves, all the backstage stuff that went on, because that could have been a really good like staying power, really, couldn't it, in
But
America?
but I don't understand how that affects a viewer.
Oh, it
Like
does.
we're just
Oh, it
fans of
does.
sport.
I think it's more
I
so of getting the people to get on it, because obviously it was very big, and I think some people saw the controversy of it and thought, no, I'm not going to watch that, or they lost interest in it. But I think a lot of it suffers. It's just a lot of the fighters where like a lot of them didn't pay nowhere. They just got promised too much money. Obviously, at the end of the day, obviously I enjoyed it. It was one of the most entertaining things. But you can chalk that up to like people like Bryce Hall and stuff. People like that came from that, and same with like Austin McBroom and arguably Gibb. Because that's where Gib got.
The reason I thought it was so good and the card was so stacked is because it was a YouTube boxing event after like a while. So this was still like early on in the YouTube boxing days where it was like, whoa. And secondly, they got such big names on it, but that's all only because they were promised false amount of money, right? But that's what I don't think. Well, and the drama on it, like the press conferences, the promo, it was just like top tier. But then I think Misfits one was arguably better. KSI's return. If only reason I can't decide between Misfits 1 and 4, I feel like Misfits like main event was better for Misfits 4, and a main event is really important, right?
Yeah.
But I feel like the Misfits one like undercard was better and had bigger names.
Yeah, because you have the introduction. Well, obviously Slim was a factor anyway, but he hadn't had a proper main stage fight. That's not in Dubai. But then obviously that he just stormed onto the scene, didn't he? Same with Salt Pappy. Salt Pappy came off the bit of the dumpster fire that was Showstar, and obviously that's what Showstar like. Misfits made Salt Pappy, but obviously that's Showstar's when we were introduced to him, like properly.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah,
it's
yeah,
like
yeah.
all the, it's like kind of Misfits is kind of the not. I'd say they're the end goal for where they want to end up. And obviously that's what it's kind of Misfits. Misfits 1 and 4 are really. It's really weird. Like Misfits 4 is kind of finishing up storylines from Misfits 1, and that's what I think.
Yeah,
That's what I think boxing lacks nowadays. It's like storylines and intrigue. Obviously, the quality of boxing is immense on pro boxing, but that's why. But pro boxing organizations are getting annoyed at Misfits because they're doing well. What did they make? I think they made. I don't quote me on this. I think it was 300,000 pay-per-views. Misfits
yeah,
did.
and in the US and UK, 300K.
Does that not
Good numbers.
does that not include like anywhere else, or is it just does? I don't have a clue.
No, no, yeah, yeah. It's not even globally. It's just the
Yeah.
US and UK.
And
So good numbers.
imagine if people didn't pirate it as well. It'd probably be more than that.
Oh, of course, but
Yeah.
you can say that about every event,
Yeah,
right? Like
exactly,
every.
exactly, exactly. But
So
300K,
it's hard to do the numbers.
that's very good. Do we know what Jake Silver did, or not, or do we not know? I
I
didn't
think Jake Silva was 250K, or like, oh no, I think it was also 300K. I
Yeah,
believe
they're
so.
very comparable. But like, didn't the
Yeah,
price go up for this as well? I think the price was
it
like,
did. Yeah.
yeah,
So that's at first when I saw those numbers, I was like, well, Jake Paul and Silva was selling at $60,
yeah,
but I think this one was pretty expensive too. Not as expensive as Jake versus Silva, but yeah, it was pretty expensive.
yeah. It was. I think it was more like 50-40, probably something similar, like in that range. It's not like it was
Yeah, yeah.
like the day. I don't think we're ever, unless it's Jake versus KSI. I really don't think we're gonna crack 1 million again. Because what was like?
No, no,
Because
no,
what was
no.
Logan KSI? Like that was like one. Like was it like one something or was it?
No, see, those numbers are confusing because Eddie Hearn came out and said like 2 million people watched it, but I think he was just talking about like the numbers of KSI versus Logan 1 and 2 combined,
Yeah.
and like people mistaked what he really said.
Hmm.
So the numbers for KSI versus Logan 2 are still
Up in the
like
air.
not confirmed. It's like it's weird. I wish it was, but yeah, it's weird.
I reckon Jake versus KSI is bigger though. It will be.
Of course,
It
of
will be
course,
bigger
of
though.
course.
Especially, it just depends
Because
on the mix of undercard we get as well. Like, it really just depends.
not I think KSI versus Jake Paul is gonna carry that event, even though I think the undercard will be massive.
Stacked.
I think we're gonna have like most likely we'll have Logan Paul. We'll have Slim, like Gibb, all these like top 5 names,
Yeah.
like Salt Poppy. Unless there's injuries, like everyone's gonna be on that card. Every big name,
Everyone wants to be on that card. Like,
of course.
of course. I'm gonna ask you another question, and it's gonna be: do you have any role models?
Do I have any role models?
It could be someone on the
Honestly.
podcast, you yourself. It could be anything in any aspect.
Honestly, I swear to God, when I was in India, I thought of this exact same question. It's a funny story because I was trying to apply for like interviews, and I think that's a common question. Like, do you have any role models, right? And then I really started thinking like I don't really have like a specific role model. Like it's gonna be the most cliche answer.
Hmm.
Wait, my bad. Did I cut off there?
A bit, but I could hear you the whole time. It's fine.
Yeah, sorry, because someone called me. My bad. So it's gonna be the most cliche answer, but it has to be like my dad, and I'll tell you the reason why. I know this is like a corny answer, but I want people to understand. Like my dad is born in India, and he came to Canada. Like my mom as well. They immigrated to Canada as like with nothing, bro. Like they weren't like super fucking rich in India. They came here with fucking nothing. Uh, lived in like basements and shit. My dad worked as like a pizza delivery guy. My mom still works in the same factory that she started off in. And factory jobs aren't easy, right? And then my dad started driving a truck. Driving a truck is not fucking easy either. He drives all the way to America, comes back after like 3 days. My mom works in a factory, 12-hour shifts in a factory. And where me and my sister are now is because of like my parents. Like, bro, we have this like big ass house in like a well area. Oh, my parents put me in university. Like all the clothes on my back, like everything I have is because of like my parents, and I don't even know how they managed to do that, like starting off with nothing. And it's like, bro, if they can do that, they can give me so much. Like, why can't I, right? So the first person, like I can't think of anyone that can be a bigger role model than them, honestly.
No, that's amazing. One thing that I'll always remember, and it was one thing my mum told me when it was years and years and years ago when I was like younger. She was like, treat people how you want to be treated. And
Yeah,
that's what stuck with me. And I try and be nice with everyone. Obviously, sometimes it's like someone might piss you off a bit, and you do give them a bit of that. But that's just if you don't know someone, just treat them how you would want to be treated on your first go round. And I completely get what you mean. Like I would say I'm similar for me. Like you look up to your parents, obviously, because obviously that's a situation where like you've got much more of a reason, obviously, because they've brought you, like they've made you put this in a situation where you're very happy. Obviously, I am also,
yeah.
but it's more of a journey to your parents. Obviously, I didn't know that, and that's really inspirational. Really, I think a lot of people could probably really relate to that.
Yeah, and I liked what you said about treat people the way you want to be treated. So I've been going with that motto for a while now, where it's like, I'm just gonna show the same energy somebody shows me. But I'm not saying I always stick to that, because as you can see on Twitter, sometimes like I just go wild. Like I'll
Yeah,
just fucking
yeah,
trash someone
yeah,
for no reason. And but I feel like that's just how I am. Sometimes I don't give a
yeah.
fuck, but then sometimes it's like I feel bad. But I do try to stick to that motto. Of course, I'm still young, still learning. I don't think I'm perfect. Like a recent situation where, do you know who Terrence McKinney is?
I don't think so. To be fair.
He's some UFC fighter that KSI
Oh
tweeted
no,
at.
I do know actually. I saw your responses with him and everything. Yeah, no, I do know.
Yeah, and like bro, like people are so mad at me because I roasted him. I just said to KSI like, yo, KO him, right? Because KSI responded to my tweet about him. And I said, yo, knock him out. And this guy Terrence replies with, you are the biggest dick rider on social media, right? And then I just like show a clip of him getting knocked out. Bro, I'm trolling, bro. Like it's not that serious. I know Terrence can kick my ass, right?
Yeah.
But it's funny, it's entertaining, bro. We went like an hour just going back and forth. He's dissing No Limits. I'm dissing his fighting career. I'm saying he gets no pussy. He's saying I can't fight, bro. Bro, I don't care if you guys are hating on me. I'm entertaining you guys. I'm entertaining
Yeah.
myself. I don't actually hate Terrence McKinney. I think it's fucking cool that like he knows my brand. He knows me. We can go back and forth. And yeah, like people gotta chill out, like like
Yeah.
stop being sensitive,
It's the
like at the
internet
end of
though.
the day.
It's the internet though. People, you got to deal with what you see on the internet. There's some things I see on the internet I don't like it, but like it's behind a screen. It's on a screen. It's not. It's not. A lot of these things don't affect people in real life, and people tend to assume they do. And that's one thing people need to get like across, where people have their own differing opinions. They like want to say something you don't agree with. You just got to, obviously there's some stuff out of pocket where someone would probably say this and 99% of the population would go, that is wrong, you shouldn't say that, obviously. But if you're just arguing on Twitter, usually it's just get the popcorn and just, just have a look at it and have a read of it and just enjoy it. But no, yeah, it's entertainment, that's what it is.
bro, like people are so sensitive, and like I like, bro. Recently on Twitter, like I've been getting so much fucking hate, bro. Like Jay Swingler leaks DMs with me and him, and like all his fans just go fucking wild. I'm just like, bro, like cool, more traction to my page. I'm a small creator.
Yeah.
Keep leaking these DM big names. Keep fucking dissing me. Mams Taylor has dissed me in the past. I'm just gonna make content out of it. Like, go keep doing your thing. Like even like yo, you share an opinion on like Andrew Tate, bro. People like freak out. They're like, oh, you support a fucking misogynist, this that, bro. Who said I support misogynistic shit? Like, I just support his views on men's mental health and
I
like
agree. That
the
is something I
working.
do agree with. I'm not over keen on him, but that stuff that you
Yeah,
say is correct. Then that's like I'll go out and say that. But people are so afraid to say you cannot like someone but agree with some of their points. It's not, you don't have to,
exactly.
you're not subscribing to the full blueprint of that person. You're subscribing to maybe an odd. You might respect someone to say in a way like, and this is completely off topic, but John Jones, the stuff he's done in the past, I may not respect him maybe a bit as a person because of the stuff he's done in the past, but as a fighter, crikey, like I
Oh,
respect him as a
oh,
fighter. He's
exactly.
ridiculous.
That's like saying, oh, John Jones isn't the GOAT of his sport because of shit he's done outside of the sport.
Yeah,
Like, bro, you may not like a guy, but like he's
he's
still the
still
GOAT of MMA.
yeah,
Like what? That's like Jallum. Jallum, if like for example, like me and you are boys, right? Like we're friends, right?
yeah.
And like I just agreed with like 100% of shit you do. That's called being a dick rider. That's
Yeah.
called like sucking you off.
Well,
Like why would I do that?
if I did something wrong, I'd hope you would tell me, and then I'd be like, "Oh, sweet,
Exactly.
cheers." It's constructive criticism, and it's just having an opinion. It's not to do with. But that's what I mean. That's a perfect example, like the John Jones thing. Like, I don't agree with the stuff he's done outside the UFC, and it's done like some really weird things. But then inside the UFC, the GOAT, and he's like his fight IQ is unrivaled by like most people. Like only the top echelon of people could be in the discussion. Like there's only like people like GSP and stuff that and you could stack up to him. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah. And
It's
we're calling him the GOAT based off statistics and what we've seen in the octagon. We're not saying he's the GOAT because he's a
an
great
opinion.
human.
An opinion,
Like
yeah.
what?
It's a fact though.
Exactly. What? Yeah, yeah, yeah. People are weird, yo. And
And
like fuck
people,
them.
I think Conor McGregor was an absolute game changer, but I don't think he's the GOAT. Just because you like
Of
him.
course. Yeah, yeah.
He's arguably the most impactful, but
He is.
as he's still very good considering he was a double champ and beat Aldo in 13 seconds. And it's like stuff like, yeah, that's hella like amazing. But he's not like the GOAT is one of those things where it's like you are the number one. Like you are the
Yeah.
baddest man on the planet. And people might think Francis might be the baddest man on the planet right now. But obviously he's not in the
Yeah.
UFC right now, obviously, but that's telling of what's gonna he's probably gonna go into boxing now, I'm guessing. But John Jones,
Uh,
it's the
yeah.
resume, it's the people he's beat. Light heavyweight at the time when he was active was full of killers, like Gustafsson, Cormier, like he fought Rampage and like people like that, like big names. And obviously McGregor's beat people like Aldo and like he beat Dustin back in
And
the day. He beat Holloway, but Holloway is like peaked like maybe peaked the last few years.
now
So
beating Eddie Alvarez was big as
Alvarez as
well.
well in the fashion he beat him as well. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But it's like
Connor
yeah,
Connor's interesting. And Connor is like uh, bro, I'll always love Connor.
mm,
But as recently it's been like getting hard to
yeah,
even like defend him with the shit he's been doing and saying. But like as like a entertainer fighter, bro, I love Connor and I think 99% of these YouTube boxers try to emulate
imitate him.
Connor's.
Yeah,
Yeah, but then they fail. Like, yo, they get a little bit hate and they're like, fuck this. Let me go dick ride KSI and get some fans. Like,
mm,
that's what's been happening.
yeah. I definitely agree with the fact that like Connor's up there. It's like the debate where people think this is gonna cause a lot of hate if this gets out into the MMA community. But I don't think Khabib's anywhere near being like the goat.
Bro, well, absolutely not, bro.
Like
What?
I
Bro,
because
what has he done?
it's most of his record is from people that are from Russia in a different organization. He's only fought a handful of fighters that are ranked, such as Gaethje, Dustin, Connor. Obviously, do I think he would beat Charles Oliveira? probably.
Yeah,
But hell of it,
yeah,
I would want to see it still. Do I think he would beat Islam? I don't know. I think Islam's a better striker, but Khabib's a better grappler.
yeah.
So it just depends on how that goes. But then there's people like Dariush and Gamrot. Like, they've not got a crack of the stick yet. Like, how would they fare?
Honestly, here's how I like to say it. I'd say Khabib for sure had potential to be the GOAT,
Hmm.
but he stopped himself from being the GOAT because he retired so early. And people don't understand that. Like, that's so disrespectful to Anderson Silva, John Jones, GSP, who have had so many title defenses, who have fought for so long. And then Khabib, how many title defenses does Khabib have? Two?
Not many. Not many at all.
Like, how you gonna call you can't be the GOAT with like two title defenses? It's
Yeah.
stupid.
Yeah, there's one thing. Obviously, the defense is his father when his father died, and obviously all R.I.P. and respect to him and everything like that. But it's just a shame. I feel like he might have lost the love for it after his father died, which is really it's a
Yeah.
massive shame, really. And obviously,
Yeah, no, it's I don't even think Khabib. No, this isn't hate towards Khabib because I don't even think Khabib calls himself the GOAT. He literally said Henry Cejudo is above him because of
I think he,
accomplishments.
I think he idolized GSP as well. Going into
Yeah,
it,
it's the fans, bro. This is a diss towards the fans, nothing
yeah,
towards
because the
Khabib.
fighters, yeah.
Khabib is a good man, you know, like no hate towards Khabib.
There's one fight that I remember talking to my friends about it like loads of times. Khabib Tony, that was the one that got away, and I'm still
Oh,
salty to this day that that got away from us. And I remember talking to my
but
friends at sixth form, and I was like, I'm so looking. This Tony could be the counter to Khabib, possibly it could be. This would be a fire fight, but then obviously it just constantly fell through and fell through and fell through, and it was just like,
also on, let's be honest, Khabib would have destroyed Tony.
I believe
Like,
so too. But obviously, especially it's better when it's prime Tony. But now, if you had Islam against Tony, and it breaks my heart, I love Tony Ferguson. He's one of my favorite fighters. But yeah, it's just a shame, really. I think
bro,
it would have been
fucking
like,
Nate
well,
Diaz tapped
arguably,
him out.
oh yeah, but also with that as well, it's the Gaethje fight changed him.
Oh
The
yeah,
Gaethje fight.
no.
The thing is, though, people forget the Gaethje fight. He was having success in that Gaethje fight as well, and it's just
Yeah,
such a
no,
shame.
he was. He was.
It's just damage output that Gaethje has, just big brick hands, and he just damaged him too much, and he's never been the same after that. Like he fought Dariush as well, and he didn't tap to Oliveira, but he tapped to Diaz, which I thought was very
Yeah, which is
admirable.
like,
I think it's
no, he lost it.
because wasn't it like an arm lock with Oliveira, and then it was actually his neck, wasn't it? With
No, but the arm was like scary, bro. Like,
it was like all the way back like that, wasn't he? And it was all like the over. I
yeah,
think it's
yeah,
because it
yeah,
was his.
yeah.
I think it's because it was his neck. I think that was what it was more because it was against Nate Diaz. But
I know, but how? Like Nate Diaz right now is it like we know when Tony fought Michael Chandler? I think that was before the Nate
yeah,
Diaz
and
fight,
he
right?
won that. He won that round. I think the first
Bro,
round.
the round one, he looked so good. Like, whatever. Round two was like a flash knockout. So I was like, okay, like Tony looked fucking good. Like, I don't want him to retire. Bro, he did not look good against fucking shitty Nate Diaz.
Mm.
Like, bro, what was that? He needs to retire. Like, I love Tony, but
I
retire.
think the only fight that makes sense for Tony is that Conor fight. But even then, aren't they are they in the same weight? Are they in the same weight class now? Is it welterweight?
Yes.
Yeah.
Connor can go to 170 easily.
Yeah. Well, he's getting bigger now anyway, isn't he? But
Yeah.
I think Tony deserves that money fight anyway. And then he can ride off into the sunset. Well, I think he's wanting to get into YouTube boxing, isn't he? Wanting to train Jake Paul for MMA or something like that.
Yeah. Tony in YouTube boxing would be huge. Like,
He would be mint. He'd be a mint promoter for it. He could teach
oh yeah.
Jake Paul how to ankle pick someone and throw sand at the people and stuff when he's in the ring and stuff on the
Yeah.
octagon or whatever. But
He seemed upset that Jake Paul didn't like respond to his offer.
yeah, no. Well, if I was Jake, I would. I would
You,
definitely. But it depends who
yeah,
he's
but I
fighting.
think Jake's gonna train with Khabib's team.
Maybe that might be
Yeah,
a thing. He said he wanted to
exactly.
fight Khabib a long time ago in a boxing fight or something like that.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
know.
He called up pretty much everyone. Like,
Yeah, but I
yeah,
definitely
exactly.
think, in my opinion, I'm obviously spoiling this. I was meant to do an MMA GOAT list, but then the audio with it was really weird. All the time I'm struggling with audio on these things and stuff like that. When we did it
I
earlier,
feel you.
I put John Jones as the GOAT, and then I think GSP was second. I actually rate Aldo higher than Khabib, in my opinion. That might not.
Although
I put it's the reign he had and how long he went.
I get that,
Everyone, I think I put Khabib as like probably like the 7th or 8th, but in my opinion, BJ Penn is kind of like, in a way, it's weird. It's tit for tat. Like, people will have their opinions, but that's just my opinion. Like, I think I put Demetrius Johnson, Mighty Mouse, like, in my list as well. Like,
no, you have to put Demetrius Johnson, bro.
Exactly.
I think Demetrius Johnson is so underrated. But although it's like, bro, the way it all ended in
Yeah.
13 seconds,
But I
and
think
then
it's insane. I think it's insane as well. When Aldo retired, that was the age Romero started.
really, I didn't
like,
even know
it was
that.
like it's like late 30s, because like Romero's like 40 something now, isn't he? And he's like, I think they were both like 30 something. They were both like 36 or something like that when they.
Bro, man, like I hate how all those career ended. You hear that he's boxing in April, right?
I think so.
Yeah, yeah. I remember people thought he was gonna fight Waleed Sharks or Dean the Great, but that didn't happen.
That wouldn't happen. That would be an amazing fight, though. Like, I would
Yeah,
definitely pay to watch that. But I just rate Aldo very highly. That might be a bit of bias in there as well. But it's just obviously the only people he really lost to were people that were people lining up to be champion of that division. Like,
yeah, Piotr Jan,
yeah.
Connor. But who was his last fight? I know his last fight was on the Leon versus Usman card. Who did he fight? I know he lost as well.
Oh, I can't remember, to be honest.
But like, yeah, even like that fight, I remember watching it live, and he won like one round. I think he lost the other, and then the third round he just didn't go for it. I think he just assumed he won the first 2 rounds. I'm like, bro, you lost to yourself. Like, you don't have it anymore, bro.
Yeah.
But then you retired, so yeah.
I think people judge him too much from the end of his career than when he was in his prime.
That is true,
Yeah,
but you have to kind of.
You've got to judge the whole journey, haven't you? And that's what it is.
That's true. That's true.
That's what we'll see with John Jones in UFC 285. Will it after 3-year layoff? How do you?
Who do you think wins?
I was going to ask you the same thing.
Yeah.
I think Jones, but it's weird though because Gaines like one of the worst people he could have like fought for his first fight, like in that way. Because I can see Jones winning by using like mixing, because they're very obviously Gaines a kickboxer, and it's the first time. I'm pretty sure Gaines bigger, isn't he? In general, or dimensions. But in dimensions though, has he got longer reach as well? Because it's really weird. Because I know John Jones is freaky. He's got like really long arms and really long legs for his
reach. I don't know about reach, but a size advantage still goes to Gaines. Like,
yeah, they're comparable in like dimensions, but like weight definitely goes to Gain. But it's just one of those things where Gain is kind of like he got beat by Francis because Francis wrestled him, and Gain was probably not prepared for Francis to wrestle him whatsoever. Because let's be real, the power that Francis could probably generate from throwing someone around is probably absolutely immense anyway. And it is just ridiculous. But obviously, Gaines has probably plugged that hole in his game a lot now. And we know Gain can bang against Ty, who's just cracks as well. He was training with him and going for it.
Bro, those are some scary shots, bro.
Yeah. Is it a Russian guy beat Ty like literally like first round recently?
Yeah, no, but that was shocking. I was really shocked.
What's he called?
Yeah,
I've forgotten his name, but he's scary.
Bro, but Ty is so like Ty showed me he's so good when even though he lost to Cyril Gane, I knew he wasn't on that level, but I thought Cyril Gane would have knocked out Ty in the first 2 rounds. Yeah. But Ty was his last fight, he gets knocked out in the first round. I was like, whoa, I don't know what the fuck just happened.
I think someone just stood up to him and then could crack as well, and then he just got caught with it. But even then, against Derek Lewis, Derek Lewis is known for that absolutely power right hand as well, and he cracked him before he could crack him. But it's just like it's that guy. I can't remember what the hell he's called. I think he's Russian, isn't he? The one that beat Ty recently.
I forgot his name as well, but I know exactly who you're talking about.
He's quite on the scene. But with that, I think Jones, it just depends. People are thinking it's ring rust and stuff. I think it's more so, can he fight efficiently at that weight? That's what I think it's going to come down to.
I think a lot of people are underrating Cyril Gane. I think
Yes.
massively.
Heavily.
But I think it's a 70-30 fight, John Jones. The reason being is because John Jones can wrestle Cyril Gane down, even though it's gonna be tough because of the size advantage. But if we saw Francis doing it, John Jones can 100% do it, and I think that's Cyril Gane's weakness. Also, I know Cyril Gane's a kickboxer, but I think John Jones is a much better kickboxer and striker. Only thing is that I think the size advantage is crazy and inactivity and new weight class.
Yeah.
So it's still gonna be a really tough fight. I think this is the best fight to make other than the Ngannou versus Jones fight. With that, Ngannou versus Jones would have been a 50-50 fight.
Yeah.
Like I literally wouldn't know.
It's the nuclear option though, isn't it? And
exactly.
You just don't know. People are saying Blades as well would have been a very dangerous one for him at the time.
I like Cyril Gane fight more than the Blades one.
I do. Oh, I do as well. But people I think like this sounds like a diss, but I feel like if I was Jones and I wanted a fight going in, I would want someone like Lewis because it is bigger. I want to see if I can deal with if I can avoid that power. Because what did Lewis and Francis fight ages ago? And I'm pretty sure Francis had nothing to do with what Derek had either way. Because he was as well.
This was ages ago, but I think Derek Lewis has gone downhill a lot too. So I get what you're saying.
Yeah, I think there's a good first fight. It's that danger because he's big it's less dangerous as time goes on in the rounds because obviously he's going to be gassing out. Obviously he can still crack either way, but obviously he's gone for it would have been Francis or Gane, and it was Gane.
Yeah,
and obviously it's still like a hell of a fight, and it's going to be amazing.
Bro.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Like, are there any other fights that you would want to see in the UFC?
Man, so far, UFC, the main events have been amazing. Like, all the main events lined up have been amazing. Like, okay, Hill versus Glover is cool. I don't really care about that one. But Volk versus Islam, crazy. Leon versus Usman, great. Jones versus...
Isn't Volk Islam in February? Is that when we're getting it?
Yeah. February 11th.
Is it Australia they're doing it, or New Zealand?
Australia. Yes. But the undercards, like all the undercards announced so far, are trash, bro. Like they're really bad. Like the main events are carrying the cards, which is upsetting because I really like watching undercards too. It makes like time go by quicker. But like the Jones versus Gane undercard, trash. Volk versus Islam undercard, trash. Leon versus Usman, at least it has Justin Gaethje versus Rafael Fiziev as a co-main, which is okay. But I really hope this isn't a trend because UFC has done a great job making good undercards, and I hope they keep that up.
I'm pretty sure the one for Oliveira versus Islam wasn't too bad though.
No, that card was amazing.
Dariush and was it Gamrot? Was it?
Gamrot.
Yeah, that was a good little sprawl.
Bilal Muhammad versus Sean Brady was a prelim fight.
Bilal, yeah, as well.
We had some women's fight, which is okay. It was actually, I think it ended in first round, which was cool.
Yeah,
then we had...
It was a title fight, wasn't it? That was what it was.
No, not a title fight.
Which one was that then? Which one was that? Wasn't there a women's fight recently, and it was the first or second round? Was it Rose or something? Did she lose? Like I can't remember.
No. Oh, well, are you talking about
the Chinese? Right? She won it. She won it. The title.
Oh, Zhang Guoli.
Was that the same? Card?
She beat. No, that wasn't the same card. That was the November Izzy versus Pereira card.
That's what I'm thinking of. Yeah, I'm thinking of.
Yeah, she beat the girl that beat Rose.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's makes sense. Yeah. That was that Pereira though. That was.
Oh
I remember watching it. I stayed up for it and was like, "What the hell?" That was insane. That fight is definitely a rematch. But to be honest, I would love to see Whittaker get a stab at it.
If Whittaker gets a fight with Pereira, Whittaker's the new champion.
wrestling.
Wrestling. That's it.
He's stockier, he's stronger than Izzy in that sense. Like, as a wrestler, he is. And that's Pereira's weakness. He got held down for like 2 rounds by Izzy, who's not a wrestler, who's not a prominent wrestler. This is the perfect time for people like Marvin Vettori to come out the woodwork and be like, right, I'm going to try now.
Bro, like, beg for the fight, dude. Like, because Izzy already said that even if someone beats Pereira for the title, he still wants his next fight to be Pereira.
Yeah, I respect that though. People don't like Izzy, but you got to respect him. He was the top of his division. He was lapping the division. Like, even I love Whitaker, but he got beat twice. Well, the last fight was very close, but I believe he still lost. It was very close.
For sure. Bro, listen. One thing I really respected about Izzy was after the Pereira fight, Pereira went up to Izzy's like, "Oh, you're a tough man, strong man, respect, right?" Izzy's like, "Yo, the respect is there, but I don't fucking like you, and I want to rematch you." And then Pereira looked so sad. He's like, "Oh, okay."
No,
like, I respect the realness.
Yeah,
I respect the fucking realness, you know.
But yeah, it's one of those things where like it was literally the last round. Pereira,
Yeah.
stone hands.
Same thing with Leon Usman, bro. Last minute.
All the African champions are now no longer African champions.
I see so many TikToks of that. It's so funny.
I wanted that. To be fair, I think that an African card would have gone hard. Like in Africa, I think that would have gone really well.
Bro, it would have went super hard, but they could probably.
They could maybe salvage it. Still. Like, it just depends on who's what. I personally, I'm going to bring up a topic with. Well, I know we're on UFC now, but I want to stick it to UFC for the time being. And do you honestly think Hazmat deserves a title shot? I don't.
After what he did in September, missing weight, no. But I think one more big win, and then he deserves it. Honestly,
I think the people he needs to beat, because he said he doesn't want to fight Whitaker in middleweight, because he liked him. But then he was like saying he's gonna beat everyone. Well, Whitaker is arguably the number 2-3 guy in middleweight, so he's kind of the gatekeeper. Like, if you want that title shot, you've got to beat me. You know what I mean? That's kind of
you're right.
So if he has to fight Whitaker, and Whitaker said he's big and scary, but I'm sure Whitaker would fight him still. I don't think Whitaker would have any issue fighting him.
Yeah, that's actually, I don't know who wins that either.
I would put my money on Whitaker still. But
really,
we just got to see. We need to see how he does against Cardio Kobe. That's what we need to see. Like, I think he has. It's one of those things where Kobe's. It's one of those things where Kobe is just his output. But when it comes to like his strength and his power, Burns is superior. So it's one of those things where it's just, can Hazmat keep that output for? And obviously we can kind of judge him from his Burns fight. He was not listening to his coaches and he was not pacing himself. He just gassed himself out. So you'd be kind of a fool to judge him purely off that fight.
You can't, because it was the first fight he had where someone was willing to fucking trade with him and not be afraid of him. And so the adrenaline got to him.
And he was afraid of his jiu-jitsu. I think the best moment in the Octagon of last year, obviously there's like the funny one anyway, is when Burns kicks him off him. And goes, no, not having that. I think there's a very few people in that division that are big and strong. Like, it's like the Burns and the Usman. Kobe's not big like them. Because let's be real, they look bigger than that 170 when they're in there. Like, they probably are.
Yeah. But yo, man, fuck. Kobe versus Kamzat's a mega fight. I really want to see that. I think that's such a big. The promo would be amazing, bro. I love Kobe Covington. I'm sorry, but I fucking love him.
I think he's great. I think it's immense how they were gonna get rid of him originally. Even though, because he was like, dude. Then he called Brazil a dump, and then it just went like that, and then just.
Bro, I wish he fights though, man. Ever since he got jumped by Masvidal and snitched on Masvidal, which I don't agree with, but he's kind of a snitch for that. He hasn't like really said anything about fighting, which sucks because I want to see the guy fight, man. Like, he's a promo.
Here's one thing that we can all agree on, and we better not have an argument on this. Jorge does not deserve Leon Edwards.
No, of course not. Of course
not. He was sucking him. He didn't want anything to do with him when he was not the champion. Is Usman confirmed then that we're getting Usman Leon now.
Yeah. So it's been confirmed now, but Leon came out and said that he wanted George to fight like someone and beat him and beat them so he can fight George, because whether we want it or not, it's gonna be a big fight.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, it's gonna be. And honestly, listen, yeah, I don't know if you're gonna hate me for this, but I know Jorge does not fucking deserve it, but I kind of wanted to see it.
To be honest, I can
kind of
see. I
wanted.
can see this. I love Leon. He's an Englishman and everything. However, Usman is winning that rematch, in my
Oh
opinion.
yeah.
And
He is. He is.
at that point, it's going to be Usman winning. Obviously, Leon might prove me completely wrong, but Usman's, in my opinion, is going to win that fight. Then you're going to have Kobe versus Hazmat Chimaev. That's going to be a winner of that. And then it's probably going to be Jorge, maybe Jorge Burns or Jorge Leon or something in that realm. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Burns definitely is one of those things. Burns is fighting soon, though. I think he's fighting very soon. He's fighting tonight, I swear.
Oh no, he's fighting on this card.
Yeah,
He's fighting on this January.
Glover, and yeah, I can't remember who he was fighting though.
Neil Magny.
Yeah, but obviously
He's
we'll see
gonna
if he
win.
wins that. We'll see if he wins that fight. He probably should. But
He
obviously
should.
it's one of those weird things where I would still want a Burns versus Hazmat rematch. I would like to see that. I would
Like,
very
why
much.
not? It's
Make
one
it
of those
5
things.
rounds.
Like, why
Make it
not?
5 rounds. Make it 5 rounds. Make
Oh
Hazmat
yeah,
make
yeah.
Hazmat think about it a bit
It
more.
was a 3-round fight, and I remember everyone was saying, "Oh my god, this should have been 5 rounds."
If it was
I
5 rounds, I
agree.
think Burns would have won that.
If it was 5 rounds,
At that fight,
but Burns was gassed out too.
he was, but I feel like I don't know. I feel like I just have a feeling Burns would have won if it was 5 rounds in that specific fight. Now I have no idea, but like because obviously he's gonna go in with a different mindset, Hazmat. But that's what it is. Welterweight and lightweight are well, you could say bantamweight is extremely exciting as well. But in my opinion, lightweight and welterweight are the most exciting divisions now. And Pereira's making middleweight more exciting because of his presence itself.
Yeah.
Because obviously,
Yeah.
I like Izzy. Izzy's a generational talent. He's amazing. But he was holding up the division because he was a champion. It was not stale, but there was no one that could put him, like, make it like, Robert was the only one in that division that was like, gave him much of a challenge. That was only in his second fight because he got dropped in the first. So.
Yeah, and Izzy's fights were becoming really boring, like to watch. Like, they were so boring. So even though he's still the biggest pay-per-view draw, it seems like, besides Conor McGregor.
Yeah, I think
That's
most
crazy.
aren't all the top 5 still McGregor. Like the top 5 pay-per-views.
Oh, bro, I think 8 out of the top 10 are fucking McGregor.
I think
Maybe
Lesnar
9
was,
out of
I think Lesnar was one of them, and that's WWE. Lesnar was one of them, I think.
Wait, yeah, UFC pay-per-views.
Yeah.
Or are you talking about like everything, like boxing as well?
No, I mean like UFC.
Yeah. No, yeah, I think Lesnar UFC 200 was like cracked in the top 10, but not top 5.
No, yeah, top 10, yeah. I think because it's that WWE audience that got him that. Was
Oh yeah, no, for sure.
Yeah, for sure, that definitely helps. With boxing though, it's like one of those things where I am I've always been a fan of UFC. I actually watched UFC probably before I watched boxing. I don't know, I might not have. I can't remember the exact times when I started watching both.
Yeah, no, that makes sense because UFC's big.
Yeah, but in that way, I'm more with UFC though. It's the fights.
I am too.
I'm really more about UFC now. Like,
bro, honestly, I much rather watch a UFC fight compared to a boxing fight, unless it's like Tyson Fury versus Usyk and it's just like Glover versus Hill. Obviously, I'll choose boxing.
Or maybe like a Wilder versus like someone like exciting. You know what I mean? Like maybe
Yeah.
a Wilder. I would watch Wilder versus AJ. I'd watch AJ versus Fury. Like it's basically all the top 5 fighting each other.
I would say I'm kind of a casual when it comes to boxing, but more of an expert when it comes to UFC, and I feel like an expert when it comes to influencer boxing. Yeah. I feel like I know a lot about influencer boxing.
I'm okay with boxing. I'm casually like similar. UFC, it's that rabbit hole the last few years I've just fucking fell down it. You know what I mean? I've got all the way down. An influencer boxing, it's one of those things where you're always seeing it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's the most you see on social media, though, and well, that's what I see. It's just that's what's coming up in my feed constantly. And obviously, we're in that community, aren't we? I'm obviously in the MMA community, like on thingy, and I'm obviously like always they're honestly talking about it. I don't message it all the time. There's like group chats. I'm like looking through, and they're all like opinions on, oh, this guy would be this guy, and like opinions and stuff. And obviously,
Yeah,
see all the tweets and stuff. But like with boxing, it's like I tried finding a pure boxing community, and you just struggle. Like you really do
yeah.
struggle.
Yeah, it's like nerds, bro. It's like these like nerds and virgins that
All right,
like don't know
Kobe.
what they're talking about.
Nerds and
Um,
virgins.
and, like they're like fucking fat and like I don't
I
know,
feel
they're
like
eating chips and
I feel like
shit.
you're referencing someone specific, and I think it feels like I know who you're referencing specifically.
Nah, chill.
We won't say their name.
Bro, it's like these like SCB nerds and like virgins. Like, oh, yo, I'm joking. I'm joking. I wanted to ask you,
I'm in
like,
there
what's up with
still.
that
I'm still
SCB?
kind of in there.
I
Greetings,
know, I know.
greetings,
That
nerds
was
and
a joke.
virgins. Yeah, I know. Yeah.
What's up with fucking SCB, bro? Like, what's going on?
It is insane. To be fair, I feel like it was very messy, and there's some things that should have been done so much better. But I've always been completely open with the Americans, and they know I have been. They were probably really sus of me at the beginning, but then I spoke to them, and they were like, "Oh no, he's not really sus." But with it as well, though, is I feel like not being under SCB gives people like Pat so much freedom now to do what he wants, and I feel like he couldn't do that under SCB, and I feel like he can run with it and he can now make it his own like thing and make it like as what he wants it to be. And
Yeah, I think
I'm really hoping it does well. I want both of them to do well because obviously if SCB tanks, that's like the UK side kind of gone. You know what I mean? Like it's you've got each. I want both to succeed because it's entertainment. At the end of the day, I'm not gonna go. I want people in like within SCB do want the other ones to do well. I don't know what they think of SCB still, but obviously that's a different kind of worms. I'm not going to open. But like me personally, and lots of people in SCB want to see Pat and that promotion do well because it's the same industry. You know what I mean? We're all smaller. It's not like we're UFC and Bellator fighting it out or something like that. It's like it's like all entertainment though. I'm gonna sit down and watch those fights. They're entertaining. You know what I mean? And just get the popcorn out and watch them. But it just depends on your preference. Like I would probably not want to fight in a backyard. Like me as a person, I'd rather fight in a ring. But
of course, of
but that
course.
it's just what resources you have at your disposal. Like that's what it is. And I'm all for it. I'll support both. But I'm just hoping
Yeah.
that like the whole thing was messy. But I'm hoping that it's one of those things where the community now learns, like, right, that shit can never happen again. And then
Bro,
we all need to like
honestly, yeah, no, we don't learn, bro. Like
we
so many,
don't.
we just beef each other.
It's the
But yeah,
circle, isn't it?
like for example, okay, my take on the situation, it's cool because I like to give like takes of like
Yeah, yeah.
the big creators and small creators. It's just funny to me. But yeah, my take is that like con man Connor, I'm joking. He's not. I don't even know if he's.
Yeah, it's joking.
I'm
It's
just checking. But Connor is weird for not speaking up for himself.
yeah,
He's getting like fucking weirdos talking for him, and like he's reading scripts off YouTube videos. Weird as fuck. I think like come on, grow some balls. Like you're the CEO. Hurry up. Like speak for yourself, right?
yeah,
But then I think some of the people that left SCB are milking it. Like I see
yeah,
like a million tweets on my timeline, like a million Twitter spaces. It's like, yo, take a chill pill, bro.
yeah.
It's okay.
It's
And
not.
it's like, yeah,
I agree. There's
yeah,
definitely like both sides. It's messy. Like you know, I mean, some things have done. Things should have been done better, like faster. Some things shouldn't have been done whatsoever. And I'm just hoping now that there's two separate entities now, and obviously people are having to step up and like because obviously it's kind of is split now, so everyone's having to step up to gas it up and do their own like to make it go on. I'm just hoping now that like my hope with it is, and I've been completely transparent with this with the SCB law because obviously I didn't have much of a role in the original. I was meant to just be fighting, and then obviously that fell through. And I was kind of just sat there in the chat giving opinions on things, and that was it. That's all I did, like in the original.
Yeah.
Now I have more roles in it, and I'm like speaking to them more, and having meetings and stuff with them, and speaking about things. And my goal is just to give Con the least amount he has to do ever. Like, so then there's no like, because the issue with it last time, he had to do a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
I'm not saying the Americans did any like nothing. They did a lot of stuff. I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying like there in the flesh, he was doing a lot. And I feel like if now we have this is not a diss. The Americans will know. It'll be much easier now that we're all in the same time zone, and we've all
Oh.
met up. A lot of us have met up as well now in person, and I feel like it just more freedom with it, but also just easily managed better. And that's what I'm hoping. We all take more serious roles. So in Con's effort that's going like this, and we're going like this. So then less mistakes are made because there's stress in it. I assure you, there's definitely stress when it comes to it, especially when everyone's headhunting you. But like,
Exactly. No.
but yeah,
I
I'll
respect
always,
Connor.
yeah. Karen, sorry.
Honestly, like I remember before that CB event, I was like astonished with the venue they got, like the promotion, the posters, everything they were able to do. I like 90% on the fighters, like creating names in the small community. Like you, Jallum, like you were treated like a mega star, bro. I see you on like every fucking podcast, main event. I'm like, what? Where the fuck did this come from? Because I remember the criticism with you was like you were trying to fight Dennis, but you're not a creator. And now you're like, you just fucking raised yourself to the top in this small creator community. So yeah, not fair play to you.
It's because I didn't run into the scene talking. Everyone was like, "Oh, Jallum's all quiet." I'm not really that.
Yeah,
quiet.
yeah.
It's just.
I thought you were too nice.
Yeah, no. I'm an absolute twat. I'm an absolute twat, bro. But yeah, no, it's one of those things where I was more like listening to what other people had to say.
Hi guys, the podcast got a bit muddled up because Prabh's phone died. Can't help it. There's a bit of a conversation going on after that, but it basically it didn't make much sense without what would have been the full conversation. But I'm going to put all of his links and stuff in the description. Obviously, go show Prabh some love, show me some love, like it, subscribe. I hate saying that; it's just sounds so unnatural. But yeah, obviously there's some things happening in the behind the scenes where there'll be hopefully some announcements within the coming weeks. So obviously pay attention to that. That'll be very interesting. And you can see my beautiful and lovely voice and face all over the place. Right, see you later.